Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Duke's Daily. Hope everybody's having themselves a great day. Thursday, we're getting ever so close to the weekend, but guess what? This time of the year, sports-wise, every day feels like the weekend. National Hockey League got underway last night. Major League playoffs with the wild card games are now over. Now we start the divisional play tonight, and also the National Football League has been going since Labor Day. So today is normally where it's a Thursday and Tuesday. We've been doing, the top 10. Today we're going to move top 10 to, excuse me, to Friday. And the reason for that is just because the playoffs officially get started. The two play-in games, the wild cards, have already been played. As we know, Tampa Bay, with a pretty anti-dramatic win last night, pretty much in control most of the way. 5-1 final in Oakland to continue Oakland's misery. And the night before, one that if you didn't stay up to watch the ending, you would have missed out on a heck of a ball game. 4-3, the Nationals hold on at home to pull off out from the Milwaukee Brewers. So what I wanted to do today was just kind of do a little bit of a show where my two other partners on the Sunday Night Sports guys, Troy McKenzie, T-Mac, Bladesy, they had already kind of talked, like we did on the show the other night, made some predictions, but we didn't get into specifics. We didn't know for sure who was going to win. We just kind of predicted who we thought win the wild card games and went off of that to kind of piece together what we thought would be the playoff bracket. So now we have some finality to it. We have some substance in knowing who is going to play against who. So what I want to do is take this opportunity to give you the picks that they submitted to me today and myself, and let's see how close everybody is once this first round of the playoffs is done. And again, we'll come back and do it again next week when the championship series begins, and obviously with the World Series. And by that time, we'll be talking about it on the Sunday Night Sports guys. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the National League, and we'll just go through what each guy has picked there. I'll give a little bit of commentary to it. Nothing too serious other than for my own picks. I mean, the guys aren't here, so really can't speak too much on their behalf. So we're going to start with the National League. And the first series, one that's getting started here today, is with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. And that shapes up to be a bit of a pitching duel for the most part. So we're gonna see what the boys have to say about it. So we're gonna start with Bladesy, and Bladesy actually has the Cardinals winning in four games for Bladesy, picking the Cardinals to win that one. Kind of can see his point there. It's a tough series to pick. It might be the closest series of the bunch. Some might think it to be a little bit dull, but I think in terms of power, as far as home runs and stuff like that, you're going to see perhaps this being a lower game where home runs and things is concerned. But of course, every time we say that, home runs have been a prominent, dominant factor in this coming season. So we'll put the Braves back up there. So Bladesy's got St. Louis in that one in 4. Let's see what, just kind of navigating my graphics here. So let's see what T-Mac is saying. T-Mac, he is going against the grain with Bladesy, and he is going to pick the Atlanta Braves in 5 games. Again, it's going to be I think it's going to be a real good series. I think you're going to see, if anybody's going to play a little bit of small ball, it might be in that series. Kind of a thing that's been lost on Major League Baseball. Small ball no longer a big prominent part of it, even in the National League, where the pitcher bats and all that kind of good stuff. They still, they don't bunt as much. I mean, today you have even a lot of pitchers who have become serviceable type hitters and pinch runners and things like that. So the game of baseball definitely is changing. So we'll bring that back up with the Cardinals, and we'll take Mac down. And what does the old Dukester have to say about this one? Well, doesn't happen very often, but me and Bladesy, well, We agree on this one. I'm going to run with the Cardinals. I just think it's a team with a lot of history. Yadier Molina, probably one of the top catchers of this generation. I don't know if I call him the greatest, but he's a top catcher of this era, and just really knows how to handle that St. Louis pitching staff. You know, picked up Paul Goldschmidt, picked up Marcell Ozuna from the Marlins this past year, and it's just a team that's got a little bit, they got a little bit of pop there, and you definitely can't take them for granted. Jose Martinez in right field. So I'm thinking, the Cardinals, this might be a year that the Cardinals show a little bit of moxie and some of that magic that the Cardinals are just so famous for doing. So we'll take this one down, and we are going to go to the next series, which will be the Washington Nationals versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, this should be one of the best pitching duels for the playoffs. I think, along with the other series, I think for pitching with Tampa Bay and Houston, you're going to see a real good pitchers match. This one here, let's see what the boys are having to say. So Blasey has the Dodgers in 5. 5 games. He's picking them to win at Chavez Ravine against the Washington Nationals. So, kind of the whole pitching thing. What can you say about the Dodgers? It's been a great season for them. They're looking for their 3rd straight World Series appearance. And Blasey obviously thinks that they have enough gusto to at least get to the next round. We'll wait and see what he thinks if they make it that far to the Championship Series and whether they can go on to the World Series. So we'll bring back up the Nationals and T-Mac. So what's T-Mac saying on that? Is he carrying the same clout with Blasey on the Dodgers? Them Nationals, they came from the Montreal Expos. And if you haven't seen T-Mac on our program before, he is a diehard Montreal Expo fan and just about killed him when the Montreal Expos left Montreal for Washington. But ironically, he didn't really fully maintain that connection to the Washington Nationals. He didn't claim them as, my former Expos. He's very much a Blue Jay fan these days, hoping that those Tampa Bay Rays will make the move north to Montreal. And of course, we know Montreal is in some talks about a possible team returning there, along with a few other cities in the U.S. Portland, Oregon, I think is a big possibility there. Some are even saying Mexico City. But, there's a lot of hope, and certainly T-Mac is hanging his hat on the fact that maybe MLB will give Montreal a second chance. And they definitely would need a new stadium if that's the case. But Mac's not going to go with Washington. He's carrying the sentiment of Blasey, and they're both saying the Dodgers, Blades 5. T-Mac has it going in 4 games for the Dodgers. Now, yours truly, I'm kind of looking at this as the year of upsets. Now, back in hockey, back in the spring, when the playoffs got started, I predicted that the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins would be in the Stanley Cup final. And I got a bit of flack for that because a lot of people felt the Tampa Bay Lightning was the best team in hockey. And also that, St. Louis just wasn't going to be able to come out of it. They had really pressed hard to be able to make the final. But guess what happened? Things fell in place. Neil Dukester was right on the Stanley Cup final. So let's have a look. Well, I'm thinking upsets. I'm really thinking some upsets this year. And so I am taking the Nationals in 4. I think they're going to win it in Washington. They'll split in L.A., split or sweep 2, and then they'll split in Washington or sweep the 2 there, however you want to tone it up. I think Washington is going to take it. I think they have the arms to do it. Their bullpen is not great by any means, but I'll tell you what, when you're in the playoffs, you got your other starters that can come in for long relief roles. As the Red Sox showed last year, you can shorten up your staff by having your starters using some of those throw days to throw a few extra innings to help when you needed it and things. So I think Washington has enough starting pitching. Offensively, I think they got a good ball club. I think they can do a lot of small things too, as well. Dave Martinez, was under Joe Madden all them years. I don't think he's afraid to try things. And the Dodgers, you know what? This was kind of going to be their big hurrah for this year. But this is going to be a team. This is going to be like the Buffalo Bills of Major League Baseball. Get to the dance, but they just can't seal the deal. So Duke is going with the Nationals in 4. So some interesting comments there, interesting choices for that one. So we're going to take down the National League, and we're going to move on over to the American League. And let's see what the boys have to say with regards to this one. So we'll see what Bladesy has to say with regards to the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. As we know, the Yankees have had the Twins number on numerous occasions in divisional play. I think it's only been divisional play. I can't recall them being in a championship series. I don't think so, but I could be corrected on that. Oh, excuse me. Nap time. That's what happens when you're getting older here, I guess. So, anyway, Blades, what's he got to say about the Yankees and the Twins? Well, he is going with the Bronx Bombers in 4 games. Now, keep in mind, Bladesy, like me, still down in the old B, not our year, but he tends to like to be picked smartly, and usually a lot of times when Blades makes a choice, it's very rare that he's wrong on him. But I always like to challenge him on these things for sure. Now, let's go and see what T-Mac has to say. T-Mac is often one who'll go against the grain too. He's a little bit, he got a little bit of Bladesy in him, got a little bit of me in him. He's not afraid to go against the grain a little bit. And so in this particular instance, boom, T-Mac going with the Twins in 4 games. Going to win in Minneapolis. Put the Yankees away. Max, like Bladesy and I, cannot go the Yankees a little bit. Even hates them more than he does the Boston Red Sox, which is hard to believe for a Toronto fan. But anyway, Bladesy's going with the Twins in 4. So that leaves us with myself. And where else are we here? Duke's playing tech guy too at the same time. So this is a series that's definitely going to be all about the long ball, the pitching. Though the Yankees do have a far superior bullpen, their starters have yet to prove. Now, the Yankees, I will say this about the starters they can throw out there. They have the potential. They have guys who could really get hot, and they could run the table on this thing. They could. It is a coin flip as to what they're going to get, right? And if they can get in there and get in a good, 4 or 5 innings, that bullpen's going to get used, right? And it's been one of the bread and butter of the Yankees in this year. You got to tip your hat off to the Yankees. Even as a Boston fan, I give them full marks for the injuries that they've encountered all year, and to have the depth of players in their organization who are able to step in there and do the job that they've been able to do is really, really quite remarkable. A great coaching job done by Aaron Boone. To me, I think he's definitely in the running for Manager of the Year. I think he should get Manager of the Year, to be honest with you. Well played season, and guys like playing for him. He's a player's manager, and so they're going to be tough. But guess what? All good things must come to an end, New York. The Minnesota Twins are going to exercise some demons in this series, and I believe that they are going to take the Yankees in 5. They're going to exercise that demon in Yankee Stadium. It'll be a heck of a game 7, may even go extra innings. But this Twins team can go mano-a-mano with the New York Yankees in terms of the home run ball. So don't put anything past this Minnesota team. They don't have the bullpen that the Yankees had, not even close. But you know what? They may have enough starting to kind of offset that. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a bit of a long shot pick there as well that I'm taking. So Duke's going with Mini in 5. The last series that we will be giving predictions on will be between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Houston Astros. And you know what? I'm just going to cut right to the chase and pretty much Bladesy and T-Mac both have the Astros winning this series. Blades has got them in a sweep in 3. T-Mac's a little more friendly towards the Tampa Bay Rays. He has them winning in 4. So, I mean, 2 of them going with Houston on that one. You know what? I'm going to continue the theme of upset happening this year. I've taken Washington to beat the Dodgers. I've taken the Twins to outlast the Yankees. And yes, oh yes, oh yes, Duke is going to take a chance on it and pick the Tampa Bay Rays to upset the Houston Astros. It is not ill-founded. 3-4 Houston was against the Rays this year. I think pitching they were 1-2 with Houston having the best pitching overall. The one game that I think Tampa won't win is against Garrett Cole. I think he's a little bit younger, and that guy has just been throwing smoke all year. Verlander has been known to give it up. He can. The Red Sox got him last year. Detroit, on a few occasions, actually, the Red Sox have, when he was with Detroit, when he was with Houston last year. So as good as he's turned himself back around and become the Justin Verlander that we all know, it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to be able to cough one up. This Rays team, as much as I hate seeing Tampa win, and it's not so much the team, but it's because of the fan base, that they don't support this team any more than that. I don't think a city should have a professional team if they're not going to be willing to support it. And that flows all across all sports. So with that being said, though, that team, Kevin Cash, I think is highly underrated as a manager. I think you have to tip your cap to him. He's kind of like a modern Joe Madden. You remember Joe Madden was the manager of the Rays for a number of years, took them to a World Series in 2008, I believe it was, against the Phillies. So, I mean, Kevin Cash has just done a heck of a job with this ball club. And whether I like him or not, this team is finding ways to win. They are a team that are not afraid to use their bench. They utilize everybody. Everybody pitches. Everybody on that staff could be involved in every single game. It's just the mantra and the motto of how the Tampa Bay Rays flow. And I don't know. I'm just going with a hunch. I could be wrong. Maybe, Bladesy's right, and they get swept in 3, and I'll look kind of silly with egg on my face. But I am going to go with Tampa Bay, just because those other 2 guys just are so adamantly thinking that Houston is going to win this thing. But I'm just going to say it. I'll go with the Rays. I'll go with the Rays in 4. Going to win it in Tampa Bay. And this is going to be known as the year of the upset. So, anyway, those games are going to get started within the next couple of hours here. You can catch them. I think Sportsnet is covering the MLB playoffs again this year. So be sure to see them there. So anyway, wanted to do a show today on the playoffs that are starting. Get the predictions in. Listen, if this is your first time coming across the Sunday Night Sports Guys YouTube channel, we are just glad that you did drop in. Please offer up a comment on the content that you've heard here today. What's your predictions for Major League Baseball playoffs? And also, if you would be so kind to hit the subscribe button, because it's our subscribers that make this thing tick. We appreciate each and every one that we have, and we always welcome their comments and input to anything that we're doing. We also are on Twitter, and we have our own Facebook page. Check in the description for that. And we will see you again tomorrow, in which we will do what should have been today, the top 10. We'll get that in there tomorrow for everybody for the weekend that's coming up. So anyway, thanks so much for viewing, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.